There she is. Welcome, Victoria.
Welcome, Twente.
Yeah, she is undercover. By the way, show them that I didn't beat you up or anything. Just take your glasses off for a second.
You didn't beat me up.
Take them off for a second. Let them see. I don't
I'm
believe
here.
you. Why would they believe you?
Well, they can believe me now.
That's right.
What? Well, it's not... Do they really think you would have beaten me up?
No, I just want them to see. I want to see your pretty eyes.
Oh, thank you, babe.
All right.
So welcome you guys to another exciting episode of Feel It Real Fun for All on the 31st of May, 2024.
That's right. Stephanie is here. She is remarkable.
So some people say... Oh,
Galaxy.
no, it happens...
Is here.
July, August. Some people say that tomorrow would be the start of winter, but I know better.
That's bullshit.
That's
the government says that. The government says a lot of things. Yeah. We're here to help, right? And by the way, tomorrow is the next beginning of the new season. Really? What about nature? Let's just disregard all that bullshit, shall we? Stephanie, Lisa, and La Rock. Galaxy again. Hello. Oh, yeah. She's back in the New York groove. Look at that. Got my Reddington hat on. That is like that's my favorite opening for all the blacklists.
Yeah, I know. I know you love that.
I play that all the time.
He does.
I do.
That's why I know it. Because I didn't watch it.
That's right.
I think I watched the first season, and then it was... Oh, no.
No, you watched till Mr. Kaplan got capped.
Well, that was terrible.
I know. We all know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
but that always has to happen. That always has to happen in a dramatic show. Anyway. All right. Just like on The Sopranos.
Oh, I know.
See, they always do it, though. Mondo.
Yeah, they did it to whoever that guy's name was. That was disgusting.
Yeah, Pussy. Yeah. That's his name.
I know. It was.
Oh, people are going to get offended. No. There's Mr. 20 offending people again. He's so good at it. What's
easier.
Up, pussycat? Anyway.
Whoa. Yeah.
So, Feel It Real Fun, all that stuff. Join remarkable.com. It's a lot of fun, right? That's all I'm going to say. Like, just anyway.
Come on, 1, 2, 3.
So, Victoria.
Yes.
Shall we get into the show today?
We shall.
That's right. It's already 10 minutes after.
Okay, so the first question today.
Right. Jody, welcome to the show. I didn't mean to interrupt you again, Victoria.
First question today is from Teodora in Manifesting Mastery. The lottery win.
She's on day 2 today. Oh, how cool is that?
Oh, cool.
Maybe day 3 by the time she sees the show.
Okay, and it's a she. That's good, because I didn't know if it was a she or a he. I mean, the name could be like...
You ever notice how screwed up we are nowadays in this culture? Like, everybody could be anything, and then everybody uses pronouns that are... Like in the show last night, they said somebody's coming. And the guy says, oh, cool. Yeah, and they said, oh, they're coming. And he goes, oh, cool. Yeah, her and who? I was like, oh, no, they are coming. It's
I know.
It's like unbelievable. It's like everyone's all confused and upset.
Yeah,
and
I won't tell you my other little bit about that, but that's fine. Yeah,
I'll get you. You'll tell me later.
I could, yes.
I know.
So, and
I'll
Teodora
hear all about
asks, I was reading a post from this group about winning the lottery.
That's right.
Which is something that would solve a lot of other wishes.
Hoo-ha.
Reading what TT said, I realised that I'm trying to control the how. So my question is, how should I proceed with my many desires? I want to pay my parents' debts, buy a house, go on a great vacation, quit my job, and open my dream cafe, get a new tattoo, etc. Yes, the lottery win would solve all of these desires. What I want to ask is, how do I organise all of these wishes?
We're having prawns today with lunch.
Do one every day. Do all of them in one session. Also, do you visualise
I found
every
myself
day?
Buying lamb mince.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Victoria.
That's the end.
Oh, really? That was it?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, cool. So here's the deal, guys. All right, so Victoria got up this morning, and I said to her, look, what do you reckon? And she goes, my leftovers. Like, right, so she's got this leftover green curry stuff. No. Smells delightful.
Pork and hoisin sauce.
Pork and hoisin sauce. Yes, it's something.
Yummy.
Right. So she's got some leftover something.
I don't want to throw it out. Yes.
So she's got a desire, right, out of the blue. And also, like, there may be a problem she wants to not solve or not have.
A problem?
Yeah, like throwing it out.
Yes.
But are you eating it because you don't want to throw it out or because you're going to eat?
No, because I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right. So I'm at the store today, and I'm getting opportunistic meat. because I'm going to have an opportunistic meat meal, and she's going to have parts of it.
Yes.
So I bought opportunistic meat today. So I'm looking at all the meats there and so on and so forth. And the opportunistic meats that spoke to me today, he who hears meat is my new Indian name, right? So he who hears meat going, eat me. And I go, oh my God, ground lamb. Yes. I didn't know it could speak. So I grabbed some of that. Yes. And then there was this pig slice. Right, so I got some sliced pig, right? So I went over like, oh my God, pig slice, right?
Yeah.
30% off, right? So this makes me even happier, right? So and it's calling out my name, it's beckoning, right? So it's like, oh my God, and then this whole thing happens again out of the blue, like prawnies, like we could have some prawns.
Yes, and I said that would be ace because I can just put a few prawns.
On your,
my pork
and with your bits,
and
right?
And it'll be yum.
And I can do prawns my way.
Yes,
my way.
I don't need any of your other
right. So, by the way, and I just surrendered to another desire, Alex. Right, my way. Right, just sort of like hack a little Frank into the show. Right. Now, here's the cool thing about desires. They aren't shopping lists. Now, you can know, I would enjoy getting a nice tattoo. I'd enjoy something else. But you know what? I walked into a room, and there she was.
Yeah.
Right? Suddenly out of the blue. Right?
Yeah, it's not like... In the old days, must admit, I used to write the shopping list in the order of the aisles. That's like... veggie, so I'd have all my veggies and then the next aisle and the next aisle.
Yeah, you think of the joy.
It's not like that with
right?
what we want. Yes. Think of the joy.
Think of the joy, right? Now, her brother would do it with a spreadsheet, right? You'd have a spreadsheet that correlates the aisles and the meals, right? Wouldn't he?
Probably.
yeah. Believe me, I'm
take
really.
4 hours to do
it. 4 hours to do it to save 10 minutes on shopping.
Yes.
Right. So here's what happens. Neville Goddard says, the moment of desire is upon you, Beth, she's not like the rest. And I have a desire to sing to Beth, because I do. Right? Galaxy. I've got a desire to call her Galaxy. And I surrender to it that fast, and it comes forth. Right? This is the way all manifesting can be, unless you make it an act of will. And Neville Goddard says, do not make this an act of will. Contrast it with an act of will. It's an act of surrender.
Yeah.
So the moment a desire shows up, that's when we surrender to it. Now, these first weeks, the first couple days of ManifestingMasteryCourse.com, you're going to notice how fast lesson 1, the young fella, surrenders to something. We'll call it a state. Right? Something showed up, and he surrendered to it, and he turned around. First, he surrendered to something lovely. Right? Oh, there's some chippies. All right. Right? And he breaks away from the pack of the herd, the safety of the pack of the herd, and then he's walking across, then he hears something else in his head, like they're laughing at you.
Yeah.
Right? And he surrenders to something else, turns around. Right? In other words, he experienced doubt, but more on the doubt call shortly. So we're going to begin there, and I'm going to toss in one more thought. And by the way, we did a cool podcast on this. Desires are not something to be solved.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Desires are to be surrendered to.
Yeah, very good.
So when she tried to solve her shopping experience, and her brother does a 3-dimensional array within, it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Right? No, you don't got to do that. You can actually have some fun.
Cool.
So I love this, Teodora.
Yeah,
we're going to
really
dive into
good.
your second question later, but not now. And we're going to continue to explore your questions and more as we continue with the show.
There's a 2-time Teodora.
2-time Teodora.
Oh,
See, another surrender to a state. I just feel like singing. Right? Hoo-ha. All right. Alex, link to the live call. Thanks, pal. Nice. By the way, we've got, I think, 4 slots left for the live call USA Friday. It'll be over in 24 hours. We're exploring doubt and delay and denial, stuff like that in a really cool way. As you can tell, I'm excited about it. I can promise you we're not going to go deep into shadow side bullshit or something like that. The reason you're not getting what you want is your shadow side, and your subconscious and your shadow side are conspiring against you. Bullshit.
Yeah. Cool.
And
Excellent, Teodora.
And you notice I often surrender to making fun of dumb shit, but not people. All right. That's right.
I'll probably get it on the edit.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Get it on the edit.
I toss shit. I stuff out so she'll get it on the edit.
I know.
And I am finally going to go onto the TikTok and be the rapping manifester guy.
Are you going to find
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about my adventures with Julian and Jack.
Before it totally gets banned in the US.
I'll take my skill set to someplace else too then.
Okay.
Bo has joined the show.
Cool.
All right.
The next question's from Keith in Manifesting Mastery. Other senses. And Keith asks, may not be able to attend the show later, but how else can we use other senses to aid us further in our imagination? Thanks, and have a great weekend.
All right, so Neville talks about the gates. I love the gates.
Yeah.
Cheryl, welcome to the show. Angela Teresa, been a while.
Wow,
Right? Nice
hello,
to see you.
Angela.
I was actually reading an old post of yours the other day, and I went, where the heck has she been?
Where's
and,
she gone?
And I just imagined you, and here you are. So thank you for
Nice.
doing my bidding.
Yes.
Right, and showing up on your own desire. Default to something. Free will. That's right. But I digress.
You do.
So we've got the gates,
Yes.
hearing, smelling, seeing, all that stuff. That's a lot of fun. Right? Your dad does have an amazing voice, Luke. I am your father. So, ready? Absolutely. So, other senses. So in Dream Driven Day, and I'm going to do a breakout on this. In other words, a live call where we explore it outside of Dream Driven Day. Because a lot of people, they either think they know it or they've trained with us early in this. But our most recent insights with the happy chemical states are really, 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 really cool. So, Bo says, I hope someone asks about feeling real for money because I'm having trouble and I need to sell my mom's house. It's post in the group, Bo. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and we'll give you the usual. Right? So, cool. So, anyway.
Yes.
Cool. So, other senses. As far as I can tell, all right, there's this sense of beingness. We'll call it status, where you can give yourself and other people importance. A lot of people don't have that sense. They have the sense of, where they're blaming outside and out there, and they feel small. So instead of this sense of smallness, I'm going to invite you to explore the sense of status with us in Dream Driven Day and elsewhere. Number 2, the sense of belonging, of safety, of being held, appreciated, oxytocin. All right, there's a sense of that. And this is worth exploring. Again, we're doing 15 seconds on each. I could do 15 hours on each one. Easy. Right? She lives with me. Could I? I'm all the time exploring and rapping to her about stuff like this. So there's this other one. And it really is nice because a lot of people will block their blessings because when they think about being rich, they don't have a sense of belonging. They start imagining being rejected. And then they go down that road, that whole thing with cortisol. There's 2 more happy chemicals. I'm not going to go into them today. But when we explore the happy chemicals as states and in different ways, you Triple D people notice I've never talked about it this way. I've sort of, but I've never talked about it this way. Why?
It is like a sense. I'm also thinking of everyone was talks about the sixth sense, but I do think the sixth sense is like a knowing, which I reckon comes back to, well, not even a noticing, just noticing. I don't know.
I'll say the sixth sense comes from the 4 happy chemical states.
Right. Okay.
And let that perk around.
I will.
So because a lot of people go, I know it's real. No, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't have a
right.
fucking clue. I can tell by the way you're asserting yourself. But when you got the 4 happy chemical states dancing and you give them enough room and spontaneity, then suddenly the knowing takes on a new sense of life. Knowing equals intuition. See, the problem with intuition is that's a nominalization that means nothing to anyone. The best definition for intuition I've come across is wordless knowing, which, all right, is wordless knowing. But if we really want to put some grit in this, those 4 happy chemical states explored in some really cool ways, I think I've got about 37 ways to explore them now. Anthony, thank you. It takes this thing from a vague word called intuition, because if you ask 40 people what it means, I'll give you 40 different definitions. Same thing with the word imagination. But whenever we explore really how do we give life to something, we've got those physical senses, the gates, we've got the happy chemical senses, right? Watch somebody steal that, right? Right? We said it today, 31st of May. Anyway.
Yeah, and the gates are fabulous, but I'm thinking that maybe Keith knows about the gate. He might not, because he says other senses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
Think about
on the gates, is it just, you haven't done a call on it? Have you done a call on it? It's just the shows in the...
I wouldn't know. I know we've included them in some triple Ds and a bit in Remarkable, but again, there's a lot of ways to play.
Yeah.
Cool. What about the six senses? Don't know what that means. So for fun, explore some of this. So am I talking states or senses? Yes. Absolutely, Jody.
Together.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
The happy chemical states are a way of sensing. Some people don't sense they have any status. Some people don't sense they have any belonging. Some people don't have a sense of something cool coming along. That's
really cool.
Right? Again,
Yeah.
I've never publicly talked about this. Normally, this is the stuff that shows up while we're eating lunch.
That's really cool, actually.
And we could do a whole call on this, and I'm planning on it. Stay tuned.
Cool.
So, Victoria.
So that was for Keith. Thanks very much for your question, Keith.
Thanks, Keith. You're tuning in with your senses. That's right.
The next question.
By the way, notice Keith gave himself status and me status to have some anticipation about this and actually ask.
Yes.
Right? These are senses. If Keith didn't have a sense of status,
Yes.
he wouldn't bother asking. He'd say, "Oh, that's a weird idea. Maybe I'd ask it, but I'd probably look stupid." And then 20 would
or he
reject
might ignore me. Yeah, exactly. Right? Yes.
So these are senses. They may not be sense organs.
Yeah, got you.
But what you are is not your meat suit. Right? So we just kicked open a second door. I've got at least 7 gates with this. But anyway, doobie-doo-bop.
Okay.
All right.
The next question's from Jordan in Manifesting Mastery. Where do scenes come from?
Now, this is fascinating.
Okay, and Jordan asks, do we develop our own scenes? Or are we always impacted by whatever we have experienced in our childhood? Are the scenes that we created only desires that have been framed by everybody else around us? Wow.
All right, so you can sense past, present, or future.
Yes.
And the New Agers will always go, "Oh, it's all the eternal present now," and all this bullshit in some ways that's totally dysfunctional. But you can listen to people speak. And some people will reference everything in the past all the time. How's your meal? And how is that yummy lamb? I had yummy lamb when I was 12. And when I was 12, I was a bedwetter. And when I was a bedwetter, and they'll tell you all this bullshit. And I just want to know, is the lamb any fucking good? But they can only sense the past. And 10 minutes later, if I say, "Hey, let's go to the movies," so, I'm burping that lamb that I had 10 minutes ago. And when I was when I was eating that lamb 10 minutes ago, all they can do is reference the past. So they have a sense of the past.
So it feels a bit like you were talking about with the happy chemicals, the sense of dopamine, of anticipation, because that's not in the past. That would be a future.
Oh, the past might repeat, but they get loopy around dopamine, right? So this is perfectly put. So when we start to notice, so we've got physical senses, and we blame them because they're sense organs, right? We've got these other senses, the happy chemical states. We can blame them because they're chemicals. We can also have senses of time and space. Some people, you say, "Well, what are you going to order?" I don't know, because next week, we're going to go out to maybe see a movie, but it'll probably be after we see the movie, after we get a pizza.
Number 7.
And it's like, I just want to know what you're ordering now.
Yeah, right.
Right? Yeah. So some people just always go there. Being able to play with all 3, fabulous. And by the way, some people can only stay in the present moment. They just sort of slump there, and they live in mommy's basement. Right? Because they can't imagine getting a job. I'd have to do something on Monday. Right? I'm okay. I'm just sitting here on the cot in mommy's basement. And that's okay. We've all been there, done that. But when someone's just 100% present in the moment, I'll just watch TV. Well, at some point it runs out, don't it? What do you mean? They don't get it. Right? So this whole thing, where does scenes come from? And I digress into this for Jordan because Jordan's tendency in this question, and maybe in emails that you've sent me, tends to go to the past. So,
yeah, right.
So where a scene can come from is anywhere, past, present, future, any of the happy chemicals, any of the gates. Now, my question is, how can I experience something differently? Now, I could say something in the future, something in the present, something in the past, something that I see, smell, taste, or touch, or how can I experience something involving status differently? Right? So where do your scenes come from? And this is why I love the coffee game. Those of you who don't got that yet, go get it. One of the games that I suggest playing, and this can expound in all kinds of directions, is, what do you do now that you'll be doing then that you'll be doing then differently? Or what are you doing now that you will be doing then, when your wish is fulfilled, that you will be experiencing it differently? Right.
Looking up all the timelines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's about taking something now. Okay, I've got 2 dogs. One of them's an asshole.
Yeah.
Right? And when I go to the dog park, my pulse and my blood pressure go up before we even get there. Right? Well, if my dog wasn't an asshole,
Yes.
right, what would I experience differently? All right, going to the dog park and being happy, right, being relaxed. So we could call it the driving to the dog park method. For those of you who don't drink coffee, every time I say this.
To Google search that because it doesn't exist yet. But anyway.
Someone will stick it in a book, right? Except they'll say, "Oh, I can't admit it that I stole it, so I have to call it the cat park."
Cat park.
So the cat park, the cat house. Yeah. It won't be a dog park. It'll be a cat house. So when I'm going to the cat house, right? Anyway, you can tell what kind of mood I'm in.
Yes, I can.
I went shopping today.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Right. Cool. Yeah, and I really get that now, like just how you were saying that so much of what Jordan's been talking about in his emails to you, how
Past.
so much of it is in the past. And of course, that whole question is, are they impacted by what we've experienced in our childhood? And
Yeah.
is it
Exactly.
just what other people have framed, like around us?
Yeah, past and out there.
Yeah. It's
So another
amazing.
sense, I'm glad you brought that up. So another sense could be the sense of out there or in here. Right? And it is an actual sense. It has nothing to do with your sense organs. But I've got a sense of well-being. Right? Where does that come from? Oh, I was at the store and all these things have passed out there. Right? Versus I've got this sense of well-being. Why? Looking at the day ahead.
Yeah, right.
Right? Visual future. Anyway, this is where I play on one-on-one and group calls. But it's a lot of fun. Or we can just regurgitate in quotes. How about that? All right.
Very cool.
All right.
Okay, cool.
I'm not a talking parrot.
So thank you, Jordan, for your question.
All right. By the way, Jordan, we will continue to answer your question. We've answered it previously before we got to it as we continue with today's show.
All right.
We've been doing this show for years now, like 7-8 years.
I know.
Yeah, Edgar keeps serving up. It just served up the first 3 episodes. Oh my God, you should
wow.
see us.
Well, keep your eye out for the one where Brucey fell off the ladder.
Yeah, that was good fun.
We want to find that one again.
Yeah, if anybody can find the one where Brucey fell off the ladder and we were doing the show in the loft,
Oh, no.
right, that's good fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Somebody will. We've got some really phenomenal people that find the archaeology.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what they do, but they're able to somehow find the archaeology.
Dog falling from loft. No?
Yes, something, I don't know.
Anyway.
All right.
All right. So cool. We've got another person. So loads of people from MM asking questions, which is nice.
That's Cindy.
Yes.
She did MM in 2017, 2018.
Yeah, I know it was a long time ago.
Yeah, and we became friends.
Maybe even before, but anyway.
Friends.
The next question is from Cindy in Manifesting Mastery, locking in revision. And Cindy asks, at the end of a session wherein I revise, I came away with the feeling state, the knowing that they have played their part, the person or the event. What is a sure way to really nail that?
Cool. So we could approach this in a lot of ways. Ready? You've changed. Now, here's the cool thing. So if I imagine something, so if I revise something or imagine something, and I'm locking it in, I could lock it in just with this absolute, like, giving her status, right? Just, all right, Victoria, high five, some endorphin, right? Something like that. But there'll be something that moves within me. There'll be a way that I move differently. There'll be a stillness where there was something going on, or there'll be something going on where I was locked in before. So we've just explored the convincers. Right. So whenever you do the edits, you can look at the convincers on the sheet and you'll go, oh my God, he nailed so many of them real quick, like in seconds. So there's another states, right? Or there are other ways to sense things, but I seem to digress. So you change. And this is the one thing I always notice. When I know a revision, I change. So when I'd be coming back from the dog park when Bruce was a dick, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be aggravated. Right?
Yeah.
Hashtag aggravated.
Whatever the hell that word is,
Right?
but anyway.
Yeah. I'm automatically imagining her future fun. Right? Yes.
That's why I stopped going. It just scared me so much.
Yeah.
When he'd get scared and then he'd get vicious. It's
Yeah.
awful. Yeah.
So, in revising it, now I feel 100% comfortable with my dog and with the day that we had. And going forth. We're hitting different timelines here. Just for fun. So how do I'll notice a change in me. That's what locks it in. And how many ways can I notice a change? It could be through one of the senses, how I see something or what I see. Could be how I hear something or what I hear. It could be me doubting some doubt. Hey, we've got a live call, USA Friday. Right? I think we have 4 spots left, maybe 3 now. I didn't check. But we're exploring doubt, denial, and delay. So if you want to play there, Alex shared a link. I think I sent out a link. If you need a link, let me know. But we only got a few spots left. So doubt, denial, delay, live call. It'll be over in 24 hours. And some of y'all will just wish that you made it. And that's okay. Free Neville Doc. No, it's not there. Anyway.
Yeah.
Shoot me a thing if you want a link. So, quick. Next.
Okay.
All right.
Is it at nevergotstore.com?
No.
No.
Well, actually, it is. It'll be in the store, but I don't know where.
Yeah.
Because I just tossed it up. So you may find it at NevilleGoddardStore.com. It's the Doubt Call, $97. Alex, you are a rock star.
Good on you, Alex.
He is. And he's cute. Are you single? Right? Because we can hook you up with someone. Or, right? Let me know. We'll make it happen. Actually, you don't got to be single to be hooked up. Some people got different kinds of morals, and I'm okay with that. Anyway,
Okay.
at least say on the rock, Alex is fantastic. So you got a fan,
Yeah.
right? Fantastic, elastic, bombastic.
Okay. Excellent. So that was for Cindy. Thank you very much for your question, Cindy.
And she makes little tiny hats that are really cool. And
Lovely pictures and
yeah, we have a wall of Cindy, by the way.
I do.
We'll have to show you.
Cindy wall.
Yeah, the wall of Cindy,
We'll
right?
take another photo.
Yeah,
of
she
it
sends
and
us
put it
cool
up.
shit, and we put it on a wall.
Yeah.
If she ever sends us Rick, you know what's going to happen.
I'm thinking of relocating actually her
The Cindy wall.
somehow into the cottage, like in a
Oh, that'd be
little-
lovely.
That'd be really lovely.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm getting relocated to the cottage, too.
Yeah.
I mean, not relocated, relegated. Anyway.
Oh,
Hey, it's only one syllable.
It's a beautiful
right?
little cottage.
It's only one syllable. And by the way, how often do I go over the cottage of my own free will?
Every day.
I do. I love it.
Loves
So
it over
just
there.
letting you all know.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to escape from her.
He's not getting relegated.
And I'm not trying to escape from her. That would be another sense, by the way. Because there's the sense of going forth and like, yep, I'm going over there because I love it. You know, that'd be like a tour. Or I'm going over there
Get
because
away
I
from.
love getting away from. That's a sense, too. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so many ways to sense things.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what happens when Keith asks a question, because Keith made a mistake years ago, right? I'm going to tell you. He sent me whiskeys, right? Really nice little
Is
whiskeys.
Keith here?
No.
Yeah.
So someone will tell him.
Singaporean
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, Singaporean Keith. Right?
Yes.
So it's like one of those things where Keith sent me these little bottles of whiskey, talking about yum. It wasn't like, oh, here's a thing of Johnny Walker Red. No. I'm talking whiskey.
Premium.
Like, premium.
Yeah.
Good shit. Good shit.
I know you love them. Okay.
All right.
The next question is from Teodora 2 in Manifesting Mastery.
That's right.
The secret of surrender.
Hoo-ha.
And Teodora asks, I have an additional question. Yes.
Excellent.
Are you meant to still be aware of your body, your actual surroundings, when going into meditation?
This answer is going to blow everyone's mind. So hashtag...
Blow everyone's mind.
Yep.
I can't seem to totally surrender to the visualization. I feel amazing feelings, but I'm still aware I'm in my chair at home.
Teodora gets to explore the past and the future just as real as the now. Now I'm going to tell you what... I'm going to have Victoria reread the first line of her question, and then I'm going to rephrase it in a few different ways. Ready?
Are you meant to...
No. The first line.
I have an additional question.
Yes. Unbelievable. Ready? Pass. She always does this. She's probably going to do it later. She always does this. Oh, she's going to whoop on my ass later for pointing out her faults. I really didn't point out her faults. Right?
I don't get it. So
right?
what are you saying about the first sentence?
Oh, we're not going there.
Yeah,
I'm just going to the past.
Putting up me. Right.
Yeah. The past, the future, the past. Oh, I shouldn't have done that again. The future. Oh, she's going to whoop on me.
I'm
right?
not doing that.
I know,
Okay,
right? Yeah, and you all know that.
Yeah.
I have an additional question. That's a very present statement. I have an additional question. People that live a lot in the future would tend to go, "Hey, 20." Let me go past first. Hey, 20. I was thinking about what you said last week, and I had a question show up that I've been thinking about asking you about.
Yeah, right.
They've got a lot of time going on in the past there. Right? I have an additional question. So,
if I ask you in the future?
No. 20, if you got time, whenever you're doing the show tomorrow, there's a question that I'm really hoping that you could ask whenever you and Victoria are doing the show. You know, unless people, like, after I ask this, like, send in questions and you get it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, I have a hard time going there like that. But this is really, really cool. So, Teodora, and this is where your mind should start to fry. Ready? Are you meant to still be aware of your body and or actual surroundings? In other words, what's present with her? Neville says to make there, here, then, now. So we get to explore some different areas in space and time. So Teodora is probably a very present person, and that has its pluses and its minuses. Some people are really good at the past. That's got its pluses and its minuses. People from the past are great at learning from history. They're not necessarily great at applying it to the future. Futurists, on the other hand, are really great about just getting lost in, and then we could put lasers up in the sky. Yeah. Right? I'm asking, like, how long does it take to cook a turkey? And you're putting lasers in the fucking sky. Right? I'm concerned about lunch. Right? And they're way out there. So what we get to do, and I'll answer your question directly with some content here. Neville says to disregard the evidence of the senses. You don't have to necessarily disregard the senses. Now, Ab told Neville to walk as though you're in Barbados. And Neville went out, and he walked the streets of New York City as if he were in Barbados. Now, if he was totally losing himself visually, auditorily, kinesthetically, in other words, picture, sounds, and feelings in Barbados, Neville would have been hit by a bus.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he was able to disregard the evidence of the senses and experience what he would experience. Who would he be? Like, what would be different in his beingness if he was in Barbados? And I notice when I do this, it sort of feels like the present moment becomes a memory. And I used to do this when I worked in a nursing home. If we were having a shitty day, and believe me, you can have shitty days in a nursing home, right, as residents and as workers. And when a shitstorm would be happening, I would feel the shitstorm in the past. And I'd feel it in the past as a teaching story. And here we are in the present, and I'm talking about a shit story in the past. You can have so much fun here. JT, welcome to the show. Nice to see you.
Yeah, that's actually really cool, because it sort of touches on the feeling nostalgic about the present.
Yes.
To not make it a memory, but do you know what I mean? Like when it's positioned in the past.
Yep.
Something like that.
See what's cool when you're playing with moods, and then we did a call on mood, I forget where, if it was in a Triple D or Remarkable or one of the standalones. I'll have to look through my note database. But when we explore moods, right, it's really cool. Sit down, still your body, get lost as much as you can in an imaginal experience. Then you'll find yourself back here. That's cool. But when you can allow yourself to have the moments where you really, 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 really get, when you really start to get, you're imagining all the time. It plays to play with disregarding as much of the senses as you can, but you really get to disregard them as evidence.
Yeah, right.
So in other words, if we're having a clusterfuck moment and we're just not connecting, if I projected all that into the future, we're getting divorced. If I project it all into the past, we never got along. If I just realize here's a speed bump, here's a speed bump. And I can feel that in the past. I can just sort of feel the feeling that it's delightful coming back together with her. And all couples do this, which is really, really cool. So, how's that, Victoria?
Yeah.
And we can do it at any time. By the way, when I talk about couples, I'm also talking about the couples in you. Because you've got a couple states in there and you've got some things going on. And anytime you start to beat the shit out of yourself, and then you go, radio, I'm going to stop beating the shit out of myself. In other words, you're going to go to war with beating the shit out of yourself, and then you're going to beat yourself up because you didn't go to war sooner enough, and it just gets clusterfucky nuts. Versus we can just honestly, while you're beating yourself up, I'm demonstrating it. I'm just sort of like, hey, look at me go. Hey, doing it again. 20 is lost in the 60s. Wow. and it slides off. It slides away. Right? So you can do this at any time you feel yourself getting loopy. All right. Lost in the 60s, says Olive. That's right. Were you in the 60s? You seem like a little young for the 60s to me. Just remember, if you don't remember the 60s, it's because you were there. Or not. Yeah, no one remembers the 60s, pal. Anyway.
Very cool.
All right.
Excellent, Teodora. So thank you very much for your question. Was that good for Teodora?
I think so. I think the other thing is, always remember surrender is something that's ongoing. So at any moment you're surrendering to something. I can surrender to a speed bump. I can surrender to a dance. And so I can surrender to a doubt or a dance. I could doubt that she's getting this and then let it all work havoc inside of me and make it all about what I think is about her, but it has nothing to do with her at all. Or I can delight in knowing that we're sharing a dance and we're sharing a dance with you. Cool. We're always surrendering to something. Just notice, is it something that contributes to you? And the more you play with that, the more the big surrender comes along. And we've got the Secret of Surrender pack. That's really good. You can get that at devilgoddardstore.com. There's some stuff in there. Yeah, it smells like Emmett's doing Emmett is dropping the bomb. All right, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Teodora, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your question.
Cool.
And the last question today is from the remarkable Lisa Ann LeBrock.
That is the rightness.
A call to wonder.
And notice how this whole show...
Oh, a call to wonder. Sorry,
yes.
Not wonder.
Yes.
Wonder. Yes.
Yes. Wanda.
Notice how this whole show...
Called a Wanda.
Yeah.
There's a movie called a fish named
called
Wanda.
But what are you saying?
She was
Notice
hot.
the whole show is what? What were you saying?
Yeah.
Is
this. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Who played Wanda in that? Anybody remember?
Yeah, wasn't it Jamie Lee Curtis?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Is that right? Or not?
I wonder what she'll look like in 20 years. Ooh, anyway.
Right, so I've gone past, and you've gone future. Yeah, okay. And Lisa asks, hello 20 in Victoria.
Hey, Lisa.
In Celtic monasticism, there is a very unique practice.
I think they call it Celtic, like as in Celtic salt.
Sorry, Celtic.
Or is it Celtic salt? Celtic salt or Celtic salt?
I call it Celtic.
Well,
there's the Celts.
Well, there's Celtic sea salt. Or is it Celtic sea salt? See, the way I love alliteration, I have loved alliteration for so long, I wonder, like, where it'll show up next.
Right. There is a very unique practice. The monks would embark on a journey in a small boat called a coracy.
I was thinking coracle.
Oh, is that an L, is it? Okay, it's my glasses. Coracle, without rudder or oar, and let the winds and currents carry them to their place of resurrection. The journey was inspired by love, a call to wander for the love of God. I've noticed a litany of limitations which had me riding the brake in my manifesting adventure. I've let loose as my divine flow beckoned me into the unknown, when the potential of getting lost is freeing me to know fulfillment. I would enjoy hearing you and Victoria chatting about this.
Who shall go first, Victoria?
I don't know, but this is fabulous, isn't it?
I know.
It feels a bit like the pilgrims as well that go on that pilgrim journey through Spain, the Spanish mountains or something. Spanish mountains, the Pyrenees or something.
Pilgrim?
And and it just really reminds me of the feeling that I was when I left here to go to the UK. I had without an oar, and because I had no idea what I just knew I was after that golden chalice, and I was off. And it's like nothing could bring me home, even though each thing, it just felt like, no, it's not done yet. And there was no reason behind any of it. But this is just gorgeous to wander for the love of God. It's just gorgeous. So you go, and if
not all who wander are lost.
Yes. Yeah.
So years ago, so 20 went a little nuts, right? So he met a girl, came over here and decided, right? Actually, he met a girl, came over here, decided, right, got detained by immigration, and immigration said, you're not allowed to do anything that you have been doing to make money. Right? So it's like, radio, because I basically dropped everything except for trading Forex and doing coaching, like live coaching face-to-face. And I was having a blast. And they said, you're on the wrong visa. You can't do that. I'm like, right. So I decided, what do I want to do online? And so I dove into, you know what, the number one thing in my entire life is this project. And so I decided to take it from being like a side interest to a major thing in our lives. So I would sit here every day, and I would roll 40, 50 little soldiers, right? And I'd chain smoke. I'd put myself in the state of Stephen King, and I'd just write. Right, I'd smoke and write. She'd come home. There'd be a fog in the house. Would eat lunch. She'd go back, and I'd write. I wrote articles. I made products. I did all kind of shit, and just making things happen. But every now and a few thems, she would say, I've got to go to the city. Now, she worked right around the corner. And I'll tell you how that works out. So she would start work at 9, and she would leave at 10 after 9 to get there on time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what she does back then. Right? So, but every now and then she'd say, I got to go to the city. I'd say, is it an all-day thing? She'd go, yeah. Radio. So she's got to be there at 8, got to leave at 9, which really meant. But when she was going outside, she'd actually leave early, and then she'd come home late. Right, so I'd be here all alone, right? And for a long time, and we didn't have Emmett back then or Bruce, right? Yes. And we didn't have lunch, so no Emmett, no Bruce, no lunch, right? And I am a celebrant when it comes to food. Food for me is a devotional act. I love sharing my meal with people. And as you guys know, when she leaves town, I tend to just eat live. All right, I'll just eat food. She just cringes at the thought of it. So I'll sit there and slam meat in the pie hole and just talk. Right, I just have a great time. And here's why I say all that. So she'd take me to the city, and I love my city. I really do. And I discovered that I need to discover the city. So I would wander the city. Now here's the fun thing. I would never have a clue. So basically I'd go on a straight line till I hit a red light, a do not walk. And then when I hit a do not walk, I had no idea where I would go. Right, sometimes I'd just turn around, sometimes I'd make a left or a right, sometimes I'd go straight. But I always did a pseudo-random thing every time I hit a red. So I might be thinking I'm going to the Lindt chocolate store. Right, 4 hours later, I'm in a cubby hole. I have no idea how I got there. Right? Yeah. And it was the funnest thing because it was me discovering me in my city. And just not having an agenda, but just discovering, you know what, I can just wander around and not be lost. I can find myself as I've lost myself. So instead of having all these agendas to where to go and what to buy her and where to eat, I would lose myself and find myself in the wondering and find myself here and find myself there. And this even takes us back to a lot of the earlier questions. When you can allow yourself to get lost, when you can allow yourself to get found, I suggest allowing yourself to get lost a lot. So I come out of Dan Murphy's today. That's the big bottle shop, otherwise known as a liquor store in Australia. And I didn't know I was going there. But I got into the car, and when I sit in the car, and I can go left or right. And it's like, right, I'll go left. Or is it the other way around? And so I went over to the Dan Murphy's, and I went in, and I figured, right, while I'm here, right, because I don't like doing price comparisons and bullshit, and she's got a real good deal of wine from the other place, and I figured I'm not going to buy the wine that I know she likes here. I'm just going to buy me some whiskeys. So I bought me 2 bottles of whiskey, and I'm walking up, and I spot this really nice-looking wine bottle for normally $22, and it's 2 for $22, if you remember. So I got it, got up to the front, talking to Mal, and Mal says, we just had that last night, it's really good, so I got 2 more. But all of this potential discovery along my day, I suggest that you define a direction that your life goes in, generally. That would be getting on the damn boat, and then allowing yourself to explore where the boat goes. A lot of people, they don't define any direction for their lives, right? Future, and they just drift nowhere. On the other hand, if you can define a direction generally and allow yourself to just drift, meander.
I love the feeling of that, because I know that I set myself up a lot with, oh no, well, I haven't got the time for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That, like, there's too much to do, like, all the crappy conversations. But the times when I have just allowed it to be, like, just,
Yes.
I don't know, just take a walk on the beach and you've got no idea, and oh, look at that shell or whatever. It's just like, I don't know, so easy for me. Like, I feel it feels really easy and beautiful when I'm in that state.
Totally. It's revealing the ease and the beauty of you. The culture worships drive, destination, and I have no problem with drive. I've got a lot of it. I have no problem with nailing things. Just finished day 31 of the book, right? Kept a promise. I have no problem with drive and destination. But also there's this massive opportunity to dance. And if we allow ourselves to dance, something marvelous happens. So I talk about joinremarkable.com. And some people make a T-sheet and they figure out these are all the minuses, these are all the pluses, and it's all bullshit. Do you want to dance or not? We're a group, you could dance with us or not. $100 a month, no big deal. right? But when it all becomes about determination, just step by step working things through, those are the people that need remarkable the most. In other words, what's a remarkable experience in the garden versus, right, I need to just sort things out, make things happen. It's like, yeah, you need less of that and more of something else. Thanks, Alex. And so this is, you can literally, what I love about remarkable Lisa Ann LaRocque's question here is where it comes from a remarkable, magical place. And when we allow that to show up through all the questions, scroll up to the top. I'll add something to each one of the questions real quick. Okay. The lottery win. Remember, it's not about solving. Desires have nothing to do with solving problems. Desires are magical. Right? When I walk into the room and meet her, I discover a dance. When we do the show, I discover a dance. So it's not about how to do the show to get the most sales or something like that, because that'll solve the most problems. There's a magical space that shows up with you all and us. Other senses, same thing. Right? Those 4 happy chemicals, right? It goes way beyond science. You want to have a magical experience? You really get to the ultimate status. You are God having the adventure of a lifetime. What have you come here to do? Cuddle. Oh, wow. Boom. Right? Anyway, where do scenes come from? To the person trapped in any particular timeline direction, they have the rudder and the sail. If we drop the rudder and the sail, we can access all 3, and they change sizes. For most people, the present is a thin slice, the past is a big one, the future is a big one, and you can change the size of all the slices. That's magical. Locking in revision? Yeah. You're different. Right? Something unexpected is different about you. We don't define the difference that we experience. We discover the difference that we experience as we nail something. The secret is surrender. This whole thing, this is really nice. I can't seem to totally surrender. If you make surrendering a destination, rudder and sail. On the other hand, if you get to just notice at some point, I've surrendered to the waves. I didn't even realize it, but I've just been enjoying the waves. We all do it when we go to the beach. At some point, you stop thinking of the bills because you've just been experiencing the beach. And then you notice you have been experiencing the beach because you wonder about the Optus bill. And that brings us back to that. So the whole call.
And I really get without an oar and a rudder. Well, but you were just so present bound. I can be in the present then.
And you're not slave to the present.
Yes.
Because we were talking about card games last night, because we play card games almost every night. Right? And I mentioned about the genius, the amount of genius it would take to come up with a card game that has random chance and strategy. Because if you rely on one more than the other, or you force one more than the other, it's not fun. But in a card game like what we play, there's random chance and strategy. And they get to dance. And we get to dance too. Okay. I got to finish up. I got to cramp.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Lisa Ann LaRocque, for your question. And what we want to know is, tell us, what was your hashtag strawberry bit? So I really loved how you talked about, I can't remember your words and I will say it in the edit, but when you're in the city and it's just like this, it was your demonstration of just because you wander it doesn't mean you're lost.
Yep.
I really love that. And the whole summary at the end there was fabulous when you just sort of bounced off everyone's questions. So, yeah, that's mine.
Do you remember when we did the first Dream Driven Day? Right before then, I found an arcade in the city. An arcade is basically a cool cubbyhole. Yeah. And so I found this cool cubbyhole.
Really fabulous little alley.
Yep.
I loved it.
And I actually made it a point to figure out like landmarks to get us back there, right? And so it was during the first Triple D that I took you down there toward the end of it. And one of the lessons in Dream Driven Day is the yo-yo lesson.
Oh, that's right, because we got a yo-yo.
No, we didn't.
Well, we saw the
We saw them. I wish I would have.
yo-yo.
Yeah, these were like
Something.
really
Yeah,
gorgeous
they're really
old
old.
yo-yos.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have got one.
Yeah.
But we had such a lovely time because I found a place through pseudo-random goodness.
Yeah.
And we got to bring that. I got to bring it to her, and we got to bring it to the group, and now we bring it to you.
Yeah.
And so whenever we really, really, really explore this whole thing of, I forget what Lisa called it.
It's
there.
like wandering. Though.
Yes, it's so invitational. So join Remarkable, joinremarkable.com. That'll be my last crass commercial for the day.
Cool.
All right, Victoria.
And for refunds, visit our YouTube channel, feelitrealfun.com.
Love you guys. Have a lovely day.
you.
Thank you all for sharing, caring, showing up, and Victoria will get the thing up in about 20 minutes.